Hello teacups, what's brewing? I'm in a new location. As you can hear, it's very echoey because I'm in the kitchen and it's all hard surfaces and it's got quite high ceilings. So quite echoey, apologies. Audio will be worse than usual. I'm just sitting here because I've got to update you. The upstairs area is still a little bit of a mess and I'm coming down here to cook anyway, so I figured I'd just turn my phone on for a second. If at any point you take a suicide dive off of the tripod, it's because at some time over the last few days, potentially toddler hands have been on my tripod and now it's kind of not holding things at the right angle. It's a bit shunted forward, it keeps going off to the side. I think it might be a case of this has lived its life and I get a new one when I get into Saudi, so I don't have to transport this one, so that would be nice. But hi, I thought I'd take a minute to just turn on the camera, update you what's going on. I apologise that I've had a bit more of a gap from reacts than I thought I would. I just figured I'd take the weekend off for Father's Day because toddler hands were visiting. And just, a bit of family time. I'm due to go back to Saudi next Wednesday, the 30th, which has been a bit of an event, which I'll get into in a minute. But I was going to go back to Reacts on Monday and just catching up with it and then cutting it down and just all the stuff that Reacts take with her live streams being the way they are. Supremely unmotivated. I just didn't want to do it. So I left it for a day or so. And I was busy yesterday and it's so long and there's so little in it. It takes so long just to get it where I need it to be. I just haven't wanted to. And I realize that sounds quite lazy, but apologies. It is what it is. This is a hobby and I haven't felt like doing it just recently. I will try and get reacts up hopefully in the next day or so. You know there's going to be live streams, so if there's anything in there, I'll try and get it done if they're not too extreme. She did like a 5-hour one overnight and I just looked at it this morning. I haven't even watched it. Most of the stuff I've missed over the last 5-6 days, haven't even watched. Like I've seen a react to parts of some of it. But I've got no idea what happened last night and I don't want to go through it to see. So whenever I'm back, we'll just have to be where we are, But I thought I'd sit and just update you a little bit. As I say, I'm flying on Wednesday. I had a bit of a nightmare with Emirates, which I was trying to sort out yesterday. I've had a lot of changes to my flight path, and I know with the world and COVID and all the things, it's to be expected to an extent that the flight paths might be changeable, and you'd have to be a bit flexible, but it was the 4th change I've had, and I was just like, so I was meant to fly back on the 27th and about 2 days after I booked the flight, I got an email saying there's been a change. And that happens sometimes. I had a fairly sizable, I had like a 6 to 7 hour connection in Dubai. So I figured usually when this happens, when it's happened on like Turkish Airlines or whatever, there's a 20-minute change and it's just like, okay, now you're going to leave 20 minutes later, 20 minutes early, whatever. I had a sizable enough connection that I was like, it's probably going to be fine. And no, they had completely cancelled my flight and moved me to 2 days later, to the 29th. And I was like, seriously? But it was exactly the same flight. And I was like, okay, I'm not working, it's vacation. So it's not stopping me from being at work when I need to, we'll live with it. So rearranged all my COVID test appointment stuff so that I could get tested because there's a time limit to how soon before you can get tested. I've got to be done 72 hours before I leave. And then 2 days after that, got an email saying there's been a change to your flight plan. And I was like, oh God, what now? And they changed my 6-something hour connection to the later flight. So I was going to have a 15+ hour connection in Dubai. And you might hear some elephant feet upstairs. I've just put them to bed and it takes them a minute to settle. So I called them and I was like, are you kidding? No, I don't want that. What are you doing? Why would I want a 50+ hour connection? What? I was already like, ugh, with the 6 to 7 hour one. I didn't want that. And so they're like, okay, do you have an alternate flight in mind? And I said, well, there's one the next day on the 30th. Can I change to that one? Because it's exactly the same flight path. and it will be 6 to 7 hours again. And they were like, sure, no problem. It's like, great, okay, sorted. Fast forward a few weeks to a couple of days ago, and they've moved me again to the 15 and a half hour the 15 and a half hour wait. And I was not pleased. I was like, oh, so the thing we specifically discussed as me not wanting and moved my flight to avoid, you put me back on? And they were like, yeah, that's what we did. I was not pleased. Okay, I wrote them a letter, because of this, it's the fourth change, man. I wrote them a letter and was like, look, I realise that the world is in a state of flux when it comes to travel, but seriously, I obviously couched it in slightly more professional language than that, but seriously, I'm not pleased. And they emailed back, and I swear to God, the tone of this email, they were like, oh yeah, well, we suggest you get a hotel for yourself. Contact the hotel if you want it. And I was like, really? And the problem I have a lot of the time, like, I'm reasonable enough to understand that with everything being the way everything is, I mean, how many flights have I had cancelled on me since December? With everything being the way everything is, of course, it's going to be quite changeable, but it's such a long flight now that I just, when I get certain, there was a tone to the email, let's put it that way. And I get why, but I don't respond well to it, and I emailed them back. But I figured I got nothing to lose, and I emailed them and said, yes, I'm aware I can do that, but why should I take on that cost when I've been moved involuntarily? And therefore, given that I'm now flying a 10 plus hour longer journey than I was 3 days after I intended to fly after 4 involuntary changes, well, technically I suppose the third one was voluntary, kind of, but 4 involuntary changes, I think the very least Emirates can do here is offer to cover my hotel. I didn't know what to expect, but I figured if I had nothing and I got nothing to lose, I might as well ask the question. And they came back with a big fat no. I asked the question, I got nowhere. So now I've got to make the decision of what I want to do for those 15 hours. I do get like into Dubai at a very early hour in the morning. Like it's about 1 a.m. I think. So it's not like I can go, okay, let me just go get a taxi and we'll go into Dubai. I do have a flight voucher for a low-cost carrier that I couldn't get refunded. So I do want to do a trip to Dubai at some point, but I'm not massively eager in the middle of transit to go into the city and walk around, you know? So I'd rather not leave the airport. I get very paranoid about something happening and me getting stuck and not getting back in time and just all the things. So I'd rather not leave. I'd rather have a hotel inside and just get some rest if I can. I may end up paying for it myself, or you may get a vlog saying 15 hours in Dubai. Who knows? 15 hours in Dubai airport. Who knows? But yeah, we are where we are with it. So that's what I was sorting out yesterday. Sorry, I realised this is quite rambly. And I don't know, with me getting everything ready, I've been packing today just to see how much stuff I've got. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. I had a suitcase sized for 3 weeks and now I've been here 6 months. I don't have a lot of space in the suitcase. I have an option to just go buy a bigger suitcase, but I have a bigger one at home. I don't have a lot of storage space at home being my apartment in Saudi. And if I've got a perfectly good one there, I don't need a second perfectly good one. I'm never going to use 2 large suitcases because if you're American and you're used to the piece system, but the weight system is in place in most other places. So when you've got 23 kilos, you don't tend to split it up into multiple suitcases because it just uses up your weight allowance needlessly. I've got 30 kilos on Emirates, that's good. So if I can squeeze it all into the case, we should be okay. But my case is definitely on the smaller side. So just not doing anything particularly special. It's all practical stuff. I got to go up to the shop, get any last minute things I need, and just, you know, see people and get ready to leave. But it means I'm going to be a little bit busier this week. If I can get reacts up, I will. If I can't, c'est la vie. As I said, I need to get a new tripod. So once I get back, I've also got to get my internet re-enabled. I'll wait for this tripod to come, just get my life in order there. So there may be a little delay. Apologies if it happens. I know I do this to you a lot. Life is life and it has to come first. So what can I say? Other than that, there's not a huge amount going on. Just enjoying my last few days. I'm going to miss everybody. I'm in this weird thing where I'm like, all right, can we be done now? Because I've been living in someone else's house for a long time. I was very, very lucky to have it as an option once I got stuck here. But I also kind of miss having my own life and my own space, but I'm going to miss the people here. So it's kind of bittersweet in that way. But I'm looking forward to being back in Saudi. I'm looking forward to doing videos from there. Do you remember my colourful brick background? We'll be back in it. We'll be back doing things. Be amazing. But I'm working with my next door neighbour right now because she had the keys to my house, and we're just trying to get things sorted where in Saudi, if you leave your apartment for a few days, you just get this layer of dust. I mean, we have the little fringe stuff in the gap under the door to stop bugs and to try and stop some of that, but it doesn't always work. Speaking of bugs, she's going to get the pest control in to spray down my garden and inside of my apartment. And she's got a cleaner in her. I don't have a regular cleaner that I engage, which I'm kind of glad of, because if I thought I was going for 3 weeks and then wasn't there for 6 months, I'm like, sorry. She's going to send the cleaner in. They're going to blitz my apartment and just get it so I'm not walking into like cockroaches, which is all I really want to avoid. In the compound there are cockroaches when I'm there because I keep things clean and I keep on top of like the pesticides and stuff. It's not generally a problem. Occasionally I'll get caught out by one, but I've been gone for a while and they tend to get stuck behind like the blackout blinds, like under my bed. Sometimes I'll pull out my bed just to change the sheets or whatever, and there'll just be a dead cockroach under it. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to think about that too hard. So, you know, when you leave a place, it's like if you've ever played Animal Crossing and you leave your apartment for too long in Animal Crossing and you come back, there are roaches. So I was like, please, could you please take care of that for me? And she's sending someone over. She's going to call pest control, which is really nice of her. But there's a lot of like little practical things like that I'll just be dealing with when I get back. And I'll be exhausted because, hey, 15-hour connection in Dubai. It's going to add some time to my trip. I can't believe that I've done shorter trips from like China and back than I'm doing to Saudi and back. Really. But it is what it is. Okay, so that's all I really had to say. Lots of excuses as to why I haven't been doing the stuff I usually do. I hope to be back with you on a somewhat regular schedule, at least until school starts, fairly soon, but I'll do what I can do and I can't do any more. So thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.